Boruto Tubler Vortex Chapter 13 picks up where we left off with Jura getting ready to kill Boruto with another Biju bomb bullet. But at the last second, Mamushi bugs Shinju, pops out and says, "Hey, Matsuri's back, and she told us that Boruto has an accomplice." And then he takes a look at Hidari's Thorn Soul Bulb and goes like, did Hidari get himself killed? And Jura's like, yeah, we gotta hurry back. We don't want it to rot. We don't want it to go bad. So Jura leaves with Mamushi out of there and doesn't kill Boruto. And now Boruto is dying after getting shot and he falls unconscious. And we get a flashback to when Boruto was training after, I think, Sasuke turned into a tree. He still had like his long hair and stuff. And we see Boruto being chased by Shinobi and he's running away basically. All of a sudden, one of Kashin Code's toads pop up behind him and is like, "Boruto, finally, I've been meaning to talk to you. Hurry up and touch my back so that way we can get out of here." And Boruto's skeptical at first, like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "That's not what matters right now. We need to get going. Hurry. If I was against you, I would have alerted everybody else and you wouldn't already be taken, you know what I mean? Like, everybody would know you were here. So hurry, trust me, we need to get out of here. Anywhere's better than here, right?" So Boruto is then like, okay. He touches the toad, and Kashin Koji uses a summoning jutsu and teleports Boruto and the toad to him. And Boruto's kind of like, "Where are we?" And Kashin Koji tells him that you're in Orochimaru's old cave near the Land of Wind. And then he explains that that toad that you were talking to is actually a scientific ninja tool that I can control and talk through using my chakra. So you weren't actually talking to like a toad itself. Like, it's not a real toad. It's not a separate mind or a separate talking toad. It's me, but I'm using the toad to like communicate or talk to you, whatever. So then Kashin Koji takes off his masks and reveals himself to Boruto, and Boruto's like, "Hey, I remember you. You tried to kill me and everybody else. You fought against us, remember?" And Kashin Koji's like, yes, whatever. But what I need to know right now is, are you actually Uzumaki Boruto since birth? And Boruto's like, how do you know that? You know about omnipotence? And then Kashin Koji's like, I knew something might have happened, but I don't know the exact ability that you're referring to, omnipotence or not. But what I do know is that there is a possibility that you and Kawaki have swapped or switched places. And Boruto's like, how do you know about omnipotence or any of that stuff? And Kashin Koji says, I knew about it because I saw it ahead of time. So I kind of saw it before it happened. You know what I mean? So, like everybody else, omnipotence affected the world. But before omnipotence took place, meaning before Kawaki made that wish with Ada, he actually saw that was going to happen. He saw that Boruto and Kawaki's lives were going to get swapped before. And so Kashin Koji then takes the time to say, I'm sorry for fighting you and Konohamaru and everybody. I was trying to stop Ishiki Otsutsuki and you guys were in my way, but I'm sorry, it was wrong. And Boruto's like, I understand what it's like to be a shinobi and have to like follow missions and follow orders and stuff like that. So Kashin Koji then goes on to explain his purpose. He tells Boruto that I was originally designed by Amado to defeat Ishiki Otsutsuki. And in the end, getting him out of Jigen's body was the main, like, he was really excited about that. Or like, he fulfilled his purpose, basically. He was like, in the end, I was satisfied to die. I could leave it to Naruto and Sasuke and everybody else to defeat Ishiki Otsutsuki. I didn't need to live. I'm a shinobi. I fulfilled my purpose. It is what it is. I was ready for death. I was ready to die. But then, he gets glimpses of future realities. He's like seeing images of the future. He saw Ishiki and Naruto fighting in Baryon mode. He saw Kawaki, he saw Ishiki getting defeated. He saw Kawaki get the omnipotence wish from Ada. He saw the Shinju appearing. And not just the 4 that we know, an additional 5th Shinju appears. And he saw all of that. And he was kind of like, whoa, this is crazy. So in that moment, after seeing all that he saw, Kashin Koji is kind of like, dying right now I'm not ready to die yet. Killing Ishiki Otsutsuki, my original purpose, isn't enough anymore. I need to stay alive. So, he basically wills himself to live. They don't describe how he heals himself or anything, but he's basically saying that I needed to live. I can't just lay down here and die. So Kashin Koji then starts like explaining, since seeing all of those images and whatnot, I kind of gained a new understanding of my ability of being able to see all of these different futures, and how he knew that Boruto and Kawaki switched places or swapped, but confirming it now by talking to Boruto. Basically, right here, he's able to see it, but he doesn't know if it's actually like the true reality or what actually happened. So by talking to Boruto, he's able to confirm it. He is able to realize that, okay, so you're Boruto Uzumaki, born child of Hinata and Naruto Uzumaki, and not Kawaki. Because as he remembers it, omnipotence is messing with his mind and his memories. So he knows Boruto as the Kara member that he got out. You know what I mean? So he's just now confirming that Boruto is actually Boruto Uzumaki, and Kawaki is the one that he and Amado set free or whatever. So then Kashin Koji tells Boruto how he got his ability from Amado, how Amado used Shibai Otsutsuki cells from his body. So the god Shibai Otsutsuki was basically transcended his body, or reached a spiritual enlightenment. After eating so many chakra fruits, he was able to ascend to a higher being and no longer needed his body, and therefore discarded it. Amado found it and implanted Shibai Otsutsuki cells into multiple Kara members in the hopes that they would get one of his Shinjutsus. And so that's how you get Code with the claw marks. Damon got Shibai's reflectability, and Ada got omnipotence, or her charm ability. But the other members like Boro, Delta, and Kashin Koji, they didn't get any abilities until Kashin Koji was facing death. And once he was facing death, his ability came forward in seeing the different images, and he calls it prescience. Now, when the chapter was first kind of coming out, or like leaks were coming out about the chapter, or people were like translating it early, they called it 10 directions or 10 paths. I like 10 paths a lot better, but prescience it is, you know what I mean? That's the I think the official translation is prescience. So anyways, Kashin Koji then goes on to further explain to Boruto that our future isn't just a single line, like it's not a straight path. It could venture into different directions here or there, kind of like a crossroad, you know, every so often. So you could go this way or things could go this way, you know? It's a battle royale between destinies, as he says it. And it's different forks in the road. You can go in any direction. And so Kashin Koji gives 2 examples. He basically explains that the reality that we know now, and where Naruto defeats Ishiki Otsutsuki and Kawaki lives, and situations happen as they play out. But there was an example or a possible future of Naruto dying to Ishiki, and Ishiki taking Kawaki's body and planting a divine tree and killing the world. Alright? Then there was another future where, where Sarada confronts Kawaki and Boruto saves Sarada before he can kill both of them. Well, there's a future where Kawaki kills both Boruto and Sarada, and then Code kills Kawaki, feeds him to the Ten Tails, and then the divine tree happens, and yada yada yada. So he's basically telling Boruto that we've been on this dangerous tightrope for years, where one thing happens here, one thing happens there, and everything gets all messed up. We lead to the worst possible future. And so Boruto's kind of like, wow, that's crazy. That's like a crazy story. And he kind of accepts the ability, or rather doesn't want to believe that that's the case, that he can see it, but at the same time he can't just ignore it either. So he'll just have to accept it for the time being. And basically Boruto asks him well, things are going to kind of happen no matter what, right? He basically explains it's going to be tomorrow, right? Things are going to certainly take place no matter what happens. So, how is it useful to see all of the different futures? Maybe your birthday is going to come up. You know what I mean? So, what's the point of seeing that, or knowing that you're going to have a birthday or whatever? And Kashin Koji says that intelligence, knowing things are going to happen, having that information is very useful. It's the most important thing when fighting or when facing any kind of conflict, is how much information you know. So like, for example, had Kashin Koji not been aware of where Boruto was and saved him from the shinobi like tracking him or trying to find him, he wouldn't have escaped and they wouldn't be having the conversation that they're having now. So he's basically helping Boruto, and it's helpful. It keeps him out of the shinobi's hairs or keeps them from tracking him or following him and stuff like that. So that's good, right? And he also tells him it's good for helping him train. So he could basically teach Boruto jutsus that future him would learn, you know? And then he could also teach him how to save Sasuke from how he turned into a tree. Like, here's how we can help him. Here's how we can save Sasuke. And he also knows how to prevent the worst possible future. And Boruto's like, worst possible future? And Kashin Koji explains that the Shinju, how they take place or what happens. He tells them how they break free of the Ten Tails or the Claw Grimes, break free of Code's control, and they evolve into Divine Tree people. And Jura, their leader, is the one that will kill Boruto. But nothing's exactly for certain, but it's highly likely that it will happen. As well as Kawaki getting devoured by the Shinju or the Ten Tails, and the planet dies. Like, that's highly likely, but, you know, not 100% for certain. So Boruto, even learning all of this from Kashin Koji, is changing the future little by little, like a little second click, you know what I mean? It's shifting the future as we know it. Now, Boruto tells Kashin Koji that he will not accept any plans or any future where Kawaki is killed, because his goal is to basically beat or to fight Kawaki and get him to snap out of this I'm gonna kill you yada yada yada, and bring Naruto and Hinata back and restore the Uzumaki household. And Kashin Koji looks at Boruto and he gives him a look, like a stare, like, that's stupid, kind of like insinuating that that goal is not a good goal because Kawaki's going to be a problem. So that's basically what the assumption is that he gave him a look, you know? So then Boruto declares that he's going to do it. He's going to stop Code and the Ten Tails. And that's the end of the flashback. We cut back to reality. Himawari wakes up and she looks at Sarada. She got shot. And she's like, let me help you. And she uses her newfound nine-tailed chakra healing powers and heals Sarada's bullet from her arm. And then Konohamaru's like, whoa, how are you doing that? And Sumira's like, Himawari, come help Boruto. And then Kawaki's like, hold on. We're not doing that. And then everybody's like, how dare you, Kawaki? Don't try to kill Boruto. And he goes, calm down. I'm not saying, Himawari, you can't heal him. But before that, he tells Konohamaru to get the handcuffs. So Konohamaru handcuffs Boruto as he's shot. And he's kind of like, here you go. I'm going to put these handcuffs on you. And they're like stopping chakra from flowing or whatever. They're like hand signed stopping handcuffs. So if Boruto wanted to use Flying Raijin, he can't. If he wanted to use Rasengan, he can't. If he wanted to use Lightning or Wind Style, he can't. So they basically stop his hands from forming hand signs or anything like that. So then Kawaki's like searching Boruto and finds Kashin Koji's toad and goes like, this is Kashin Koji's. And then he destroys the toad. And then Kashin Koji's kind of pissed. He's like, darn it, this is not what I wanted, or this is a bad turn of events, that Kawaki basically find out that Kashin Koji's alive and he's helping Boruto or whatever. So then we cut to the Shinju and their hideout, and they revive Hidari from the Thorn Soul bulb. And so we kind of learned that his whole personality still stays intact even if he's defeated and turned into the Thorn bulb. He's kind of still Hidari, so nothing really changed. He just got brought back to life. And then we see that a new Thorn Soul bulb is here, and who's going to pop out of it? And we kind of already got like a little look at who it could possibly be, or another Shinju popping up. So it's kind of like, oh, this could be that, you know what I mean? So, and that's where the chapter ends, with them about to revive or bring back a new Shinju, a new part of the team. And that's it. That's where the chapter ends. And this was a heavy info dump chapter, heavy Kashin Koji focused chapter. We learn about his new Shinjutsu. We learn about his abilities. We learn about how he survived and he's still here and helping Boruto and how they're working together and whatnot. And it's really cool to kind of see how he's still a part of the story, still helping Boruto, teaching Boruto, becomes his new sensei or teacher or whatnot, you know what I mean? After Sasuke. I think that's really cool. I also think it's cool how they basically formed this new team up, you know? I think that's really cool. And then finally, there wasn't like any really heavy action. I mean, there was like literally no action. It's just Jura about to kill Boruto, but then not killing him. Unless you count Kawaki destroying that toad, there was like no action in this chapter, so, you know, that kind of doesn't happen in this chapter. But we learn about Kashin Koji, we learn about Shibuya Totsuki's, you know, another Shinjutsu that he has, and how everybody else has one. We also learn about that the Shinju can come back to life and whatnot. So there are a lot of different changes or huge implications to Kashin Koji having this ability, and things that are going to benefit the world, or how they're going to change the world and get glimpses of the future and whatnot. So it's really cool. And then the ending page shows us that we're going to get a new Shinju, and who is it? Where does it come from? It has a bunch of questions. It's pretty hype. It's kind of like, ooh, we're getting a new enemy. We're getting another Shinju. It's exciting. It's scary, but it's also pretty cool. So that's the end of the chapter. And overall, I give it like an 8.5 out of 10. It's missing any kind of real fighting or action, so it kind of holds it back. And I think that learning about this now is so important. But I do like the info dump. I do like Kashin Koji explaining things. I do like the existence of prescience and how Kashin Koji has it from Amado. All of that is so cool and so interesting to learn about. So great chapter. I thought it was an awesome chapter. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah.